Scott Brown is out. It is a real piece of work. He has got to be one of the people that has got to be the most racist people that's running out in the in politics right now. He's having a controversy with a lady that her name is Warren, and apparently that she has purported that she has some Native American blood in her, and he says, well, you can just look at her and see that she isn't an Indian. She is white. Well, there's a lot of people. I know a lot of people that have more than one heritage of blood, race, whatever in them. And if you look at Will Rogers, for example,
it was the president of the Cherokee Nation or something.
Yeah, the president of the Cherokee Nation, and of course, then like I said, Will Rogers. They also have Cherokee blood. I mean, if you look at them, they look white too.
I do too, and I'm a member of the Cherokee Nation.
You see, there you go. And I know other people that like that. There are other people, and for example, people who are technically, genetically, are black, but they are so light-skinned, they often pass as white. If he's going to go and say, hey, well, this person claims they're black, but he's like, oh, you look white to me. Who the hell are you to decide what they are just by the looks? I mean, it's like saying, oh, that person looks good, that person looks okay. They could have an infection, for example. It's like, oh, no, they look like they're safe. You can't tell by looking. You just cannot tell by looking. Genetics or diseases or anything like that. Anybody with half a brain can tell you that. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, I saw the video of Scott Brown's staffers doing the tomahawk chop and doing the chant, oh, and I was like, wow, that's just offensive. That's racist. And I saw the clips from the debate as well, where he's just like, she checked the Native American box, but look at her, she's white. Like you said, there's so many people out there who quote unquote look white, but who have Native American blood in them or blood of mixed race heritage, and there's no way to tell just by looking at someone. You got to look at someone's family tree, and a lot of family tree history is oral tradition. It's just what your parents told you or your grandparents told you. So, this is what you go by.
Yep.
It's not like really scientific.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, and I had a discussion with somebody on Twitter, and I think we all know who it was.
I don't, but that's okay.
Who was it?
Let me guess. Let's say he doesn't have any thoughts. We had. He was actually defending him and says, "Oh well, why don't you just these people, they're just dressed up like this and they're doing all these things there. It's like, why don't you go after these people because they're playing baseball and stuff? It's like, no, this is not the same thing. These people did this deliberately. Mm-hmm. There's no excuse for this, really. I mean, and they said, well, what about the president, or not the president, but the vice president who made those racist remarks? That was a gaffe. He didn't set out to make a racist comment. He just, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I just did something. I just said something I really shouldn't have because it was just kind of a off the cuff thing. But
wait a minute, the vice president makes gaffes? Are you
imagine
serious?
That. Biden's good for gaffes, but he didn't get dressed up like an Indian. He started doing the whole tomahawk chop thing there, and that's completely different from a gaffe. That doesn't make any sense.
That's a foobar.
Yeah, that's a foobar. Exactly. He fucked up. He had just a little fuck up on his comments. But you didn't. If he'd gotten dressed up and went and got into a tomahawk chop thing there, that is blatant, straight out racism right there. Big difference. Did I already get your comment, Joe, or no?
Yeah. I went. I think Medusa goes next.
Okay, Medusa, your comments.
Well, you guys pretty much covered what I was going to say. Is that as a member of the Cherokee Nation, I found it offensive too. I didn't realize did he actually dress up?
Some of his staffers actually did this. He said, and the thing was, they did. They were. He said, "Oh well, I haven't gotten around to disciplining them yet." Or he said they may have been disciplined, but nobody's lost their job. If it had been a Democrat had done this, the Republicans would be calling for his head.
This is the first I've heard of it. Yeah, absolutely. They would be calling for his head.
Yeah.
On a platter.
And tell all those people you got to be fired, and they would have insisted on nothing less. But
what I heard was that in the video, the guys doing the tomahawk chops, Scott Brown was like, "Oh well, those supporters, I don't agree with what they're doing." But then somebody was like, "Wait a minute, these people in the video are your paid staffers. They're not just your supporters. These are the people on your payroll.
Yep.
That were out there on the street doing this." And I'm like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah, he's such a liar. He's such a liar. It's not even funny. People like this just make me just irritated because they think they can get away with their racism. These people who are racist like this are a dying breed. They know it, but they're still pushing it. So they're pushing even harder now, and it just goes to the whole mindset of the Republican Party right now that they think because they're white, they're right.
Or they should be public servants and should be helping the Indians out rather than denigrating them and making fun of them.
Yes. Absolutely. It just blows my mind.
It's a foobar. It can't be fixed.
Yeah. No, that's more than a foobar. When you get dressed up and do that, that's not a foobar. That's intent.